The silent heist has begun. While you're focused on inflation, interest rates, and the cost of your weekly groceries, something far more sinister is unfolding behind closed doors. This isn't a story about petty theft or fraud. This is a global, institutional, coordinated maneuver, the greatest financial heist of the modern era. And the culprits? Central banks. This exposé reveals how they're rewriting the rules, erasing your wealth, and taking control of your financial future. Part 1. The Disappearing Act, the War on Cash. In 2020, cash was king during crises. But now it's being dethroned. Governments say it's about hygiene, efficiency, and fighting crime. But what they don't say is that every cashless transaction is traceable, taxable, and, most importantly, controllable. The decline of ATMs, cashless stores, and digital-only services isn't coincidence. It's policy in action. In Sweden, 97% of all transactions are digital. In Australia, they've proposed cash bans on transactions over $10,000. When cash dies, privacy dies with it. And so does your freedom to transact outside state oversight. Part 2. Enter the Dragon CBDCs and the end of private transactions. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are not cryptocurrencies. They're the opposite. Where Bitcoin is decentralized and anonymous, CBDCs are centralized and programmable. That means your money can expire, be geo-fenced, or denied based on your behavior. Want to buy too much meat? CBDC might block the transaction. Donate to a controversial cause? You might find your funds frozen. In China, the digital yuan is already in wide use, with surveillance baked in. In the US, the Federal Reserve is piloting FedNow. In the EU, the digital euro is underway. It's not a question of if anymore, only when. Part 3. Below zero negative interest rates and wealth extraction. Imagine being penalized for saving. That's the reality of negative interest rates. In Europe and Japan, savers have already faced this bizarre inversion. Instead of receiving interest, they paid banks to hold their money. Why? To force spending. To inflate away debt. To prop up failing economies with consumption. But this destroys the core of financial discipline. Retirees, pensioners, and low-risk investors see their capital erode silently. In a negative rate world, you either gamble in risky assets or watch your savings rot. And that's the trap. Part 4, bail-ins when your savings become their lifeline. You've heard of bailouts, but there's something worse, bail-ins. After the 2008 crisis, banks were deemed too big to fail. But public outrage changed the playbook. Enter bail-ins, where the bank saves itself by seizing depositor funds. In 2013, Cyprus became ground zero. The government froze accounts and confiscated up to 60% of large deposits. Now, global regulations allow for this practice under bank resolution frameworks. In the US, Dodd-Frank quietly enabled similar measures. Your bank balance is now a liability they can use to save themselves. Part 5, the playbook, how central banks quietly took over. Central banks weren't elected. Yet today, they shape your economy, control interest rates, regulate digital currencies, and influence your mortgage payments. They've absorbed massive power, hidden behind terms like stability and liquidity. The 2008 crisis handed them control over monetary policy. COVID gave them a free pass to inject trillions into markets. Today, they're deploying CBDCs, experimenting with negative rates, and coordinating with governments to engineer consumption. This isn't capitalism, it's financial technocracy. Part 6, the road ahead. How to protect yourself from the next phase. Knowledge is power. And now that you understand the heist, it's time to fight back. 1. Diversify assets. Hold some physical gold and silver. 2. Use decentralized platforms, crypto wallets, privacy coins. 3. Minimize exposure to systemically risky banks. 4. Educate yourself. Watchdog groups, alternative media, whistleblowers. 5. Push for policy transparency and digital rights. This financial war isn't fought with guns, but with code, regulation, and economic manipulation. Your defense is awareness and decentralization. Conclusion, the clock is ticking. The great bank heist of 2025 is already underway. While you're distracted by inflation and job numbers, the foundation of your financial freedom is being dismantled. The goal isn't just control, it's dependency. And once you're locked in, there may be no escape. Now is the time to question, prepare, and reclaim sovereignty over your money, your choices, and your future. My name is Felix. You've been warned! Thank you. See you next time.